Yay Media Group.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS.
Trey's report. I got my passport.
Thank God. I saw it. Your passport looks different than my passport.
What do you mean?
Well, it just looks like they they did it a little differently.
It is. Well, how long ago did you get yours?
Probably 4 or 5 years ago. I
That's
don't know.
right.
Yeah, it's been about 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
Mine's like a hard plastic.
Yeah.
Like my actual. It's different. And there's like now like a QR code on the back. I don't know why.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, congratulations. We leave in 2 days.
Hmm?
We leave in 2 days. So this podcast will come out. We're actually doing this before we go because if you've ever been on a cruise, you know that not all Wi-Fi is created equal, and we did not know.
And we don't want to take up valuable space in our suitcase with all this equipment.
Exactly. So here we are beforehand. I've not packed one thing. I'm just trying to get through my children's week at school because Travis is gone and I have carpools. My one son is still trying to get caught up from his surgery on all of his testing. And so it's been a long week. And then my other son has like my youngest is doing a Texas history class. And for one of his tests, they have to make a a food. I guess it can be pretty much anything.
Well, Texas food?
Yes. And then they're going to eat it, have a feast tomorrow.
What are you making?
But pretty much I am doing his, 100
Oh, yeah.
point project because I have to do it. So he wanted me to make steak.
What?
Yes. And I was like, I'm not making steak for 20 people. I love you, but absolutely not. So then I said, well, why don't we do like steak quesadillas? So I'm making,
That's a great idea.
all super easy. Second of all, kids like quesadillas.
Yeah.
Third of all,
That travels well.
if I don't have time, I can order mi casina and pretend like I made it. But I'm going to make it. So then this week, 1 week last time we did the podcast, he forgot his
Backpack, right?
backpack. So I guess that day, I'm like, child, this seems way too easy. I guess that day he had to like write the ingredients down and the directions on how to make it, which pretty much means I have to write the ingredients down and the instructions on how to make steak quesadillas. So I got that to him, and yeah, so here we go. So we have a big night tonight because I have to sit and make quesadillas with my kiddo.
That just feels like entirely more work for you and not work for him.
Exactly. It is 100% my situation now. So I'm like, okay, so pretty much if you make 100, it's because
We made
so we made 100. We made 100. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing tonight in my spare time. And then also Trey and I, if you did not catch our Amazon Live, you are the only person in the world that
Oh.
didn't. It was the craziest thing ever.
We are
What?
so famous.
What in the world?
And we would like to offer a public apology to everyone that watched because
We should have put a little, I should have put a little bit more like preparation time in because I was thinking it was not, I mean, when I say we had tens of thousands of people on that Amazon Live, I was like
it was concerning.
I was like, wait, is this glitching? But yeah, so if you were on there, thank you for your support.
And we're so sorry.
Yes, and we are so sorry. We'll do better next time.
But join. It's fun.
Yes, but it was super fun. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I sent you something yesterday because I was on TikTok scrolling and I saw this thing I thought was really kind of crazy. And it was this professional athlete. I forget his name, but I think I sent it to you.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about sports, by the way.
Same.
And he got some girl pregnant. And from what I've read from other people who've like covered, like they're like the TikTok news people, so I don't know how accurate they are. But I guess he's like gotten many girls pregnant. And this girl was older than him, like throughout I think he has like multiple baby mamas. And this girl, I think, was older than him. I think she was in her 30s. He's in his 20s, if I'm not mistaken. And it was probably, like a one night stand or something. Anyways, he got her pregnant. And what's this guy's name?
I have no idea. I don't think it even
Look
said
on
in
the
the
thing. I think it did. I think it did. And then I'll find out. And then
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Find out. Google how many
I thought you knew
children
this
he
stuff.
has. I do not. Well, I only know the big part of it. So anyway, so I guess from what the news source says is she tells him like, "Hey, I'm pregnant," and he pretty much says, "I don't want I don't want a baby. like, I don't want anything to do with this. So she was like, well, I'm going to keep the baby, which, her body, her choice, right? So she's like, I want to keep this baby. Now, some people are thinking she got pregnant on purpose. I do not know that. So I'm not going to say anything. But the point of the story is, I guess this man wanted nothing to do with her. She moved to California. People are thinking because you get like more child support. Did you know this?
Yes, I didn't know that.
In
I
California,
think he
I
only
did not
has
know
1 other
this.
kid.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this person, this little sleuth person was getting it wrong then 'cause she thought he had multiple children coming this year.
Hmm.
So pretty much he was like, "Okay, I'll pay you child support. I'm gonna find out how much it is." And I think he had her do it in her home state of maybe Alabama or whatever. So he literally paid for 18 years up front.
So,
The
like, a
whole
little over $1 million.
was over $1 million up front. But I'm like, how do you first of all, I can't imagine having a kid and not wanting to have anything to do with this kid. Like that
Mhm.
but I'm that's not me. But also, like, to dislike somebody so much where you're like, "Here's 18 years of child support, pretty much never talk to me again, I want nothing to do with you," I thought was kind of crazy.
Well, who's the girl that just had Elon's latest baby?
I don't know, he has a million children.
Did you see this?
Yes, yes.
So she invited reporters to a car dealership to watch her sell her Tesla, and she said she has to sell her Tesla because Elon slashed her child support by 60%. And the comments were like, "Okay, like, he's not paying you to live a great lifestyle, like, he's paying to support the kid." It was very odd.
It's
Um, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Being a straight male sounds terrifying. Um, because wow, you can just get anyone pregnant at any time.
You have to be smart, you have to, like, wear I mean, but yeah, so I don't know. I
Let me
think
tell you, if I was a girl and I was just like a little hard up for cash, I'd get pregnant.
you
I'd
would
be
you would be
absolutely.
one of these girls.
I
I
would
do
go
not.
to the honor bar and I would sit there
You're so
and
ridiculous.
I'd wait for the right watch to come in. And I'd be like, that's the one for tonight. And I would go and I'd
But, sometimes these watches and cars, these people are, like, head over heels in debt. You may just
well,
be in a
we
worse situation than
there'd be like two-factor authentication. We'd make sure that, we're
you would get them really drunk and say,
mhm.
"Open up your checking account. Let me
Yep.
see what's in your
Just
boy
yeah.
okay? How many homes do you have?"
Mhm.
Like, you would oh my god,
Yeah, I
you're
would.
crazy.
And then I'd be like, "You're my victim." And then I'd be like, "All right,
And you would get
we're
I
good."
would never.
I absolutely there is God knew what he was doing when he did not make me a girl.
I mean, you would be that person.
Yeah, I would,
Oh my
absolutely.
god, no, I would j I get yes, no, you're like that is a lifelong decision for a little bit of money.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be like, "And retired."
and we're done.
Mhm.
So anyway, so I guess this girl did, but if you think about it, I know people will kill me, but like, the kids are expensive. Like
Yeah,
$1 million. I mean, I
I
think
cannot fathom
yes,
how, like I think about just my life now, and I'm like, how much money do I need to afford a kid? I mean, 1, I gotta buy the thing to begin with, like, that's a whole another $200,000, but then to raise the child,
yeah, it's
I'm
expensive.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think about my parents. I was telling Chance the other day because he wanted this machine, like this football throwing machine. It's called a jug machine, and they're so expensive. And I was like, you know, they're like $3,500
Oh.
for this like football throwing machine, right? But he like works hard and he practices, and I don't know. So I was like, I'm not the one. You need to talk to your daddy.
Uh-huh, what do you say?
Travis, he said, do me the honest. He said yes. So
But
he
yeah,
bought
no,
it.
because
Yeah.
here are the options. Either Travis gets to go out there and do it, or you gotta buy the machine.
Yes, yeah. So Travis was like, okay, well, are you going to use it? And I chances that kid that will use it, like
Mhm.
he's
Yeah.
I wish he focused as much on his homework as he does his sports because his life would change. And my life would change because I would not be on him all the time. So, anyways, but like, just kids are freaking expensive. I told Chance, I was like, do you understand that
No.
whenever I was younger, I got gifts twice a year. I got new clothes before
Mhm.
Christmas. And had like my sister and I had a monetary value we could spend. And like, I could either buy 3 shirts or 50 shirts depending on where I shopped. And I always shopped at Abercrombie and got like 3 shirts. My sister shopped at Wetzel and got a million things. And then I got before school started, a little bit of new clothes. My Christmas, I would get some new clothes. Like, when I got older, my parents would just be like, kind of let us pick out our Christmas stuff. Like, we'd go
Mhm.
shopping and tell them what we wanted, and they would pretty much buy it. It was, like, the only other time I got clothes, and all I got was clothes. And I said for my birthday, I would get, like, maybe $100 or something, right? That's it. Like, I did not
Mhm.
my parents were not out there. If I wanted a jug machine, first of all, I'd never get one because my parents couldn't afford it, but if I wanted something big, I would have to wait for Christmas and my birthday like normal people. So, it's like, you were so freaking lucky and spoiled because I never had that growing up.
Yeah, but I will say you don't like, your kids don't just have, like, free reign to spend or buy whatever they want. Like, I feel like y'all give them this is different because it adds to something he's working towards, I feel like, so I see where that
Mhm.
investment's maybe more worth it, but they don't get to just go buy some Louis Vuitton sneakers because they want them.
No, I mean, I'm one of I mean, I've like, some people think we're weird, especially because they go to private schools, so some people Travis and I did not want our kids to have brand new cars, so they'll both have
Mhm.
three-year-old cars, like, we have their cars already, both
Yeah,
of them, and Cruz is 13, because we want them to be used, and they're nice cars, but
which
they're
I think is the perfect way to do it. Because I remember when I was in high school, anyone that bought their own car
Mhm.
or worked for it in some way did not wreck their car.
Yeah.
But anyone I remember this girl, I won't say her name. It's a she comes from a very wealthy family, you'd, like, recognize the name. Um, and she got a brand new it was a Maserati, I think it was called a Ghibli or something like that. It had just come out, and she got, like, one of the first ones in the state, and she was being stupid, like, the first week that she got it was doing donuts in the parking
Oh,
lot and
Jesus.
hit a light pole, and she did not have that car for the rest of the year. I think it took, like, 8 months to repair that car because they didn't even have the parts for it.
A
Um
Maserati?
Yes, and anyone that was given something that they didn't work for in some way or have some sort of appreciation for wrecks their car.
Yes, well, they will have I mean, they're nice cars, but they'll be 3 years old, they'll have
Mhm.
some miles on them.
But
Um
they already now take kinda
Yeah,
ownership
they
in
do, like,
those.
if we leave anything in my kid's cars, like, every time Chance comes to Montana, he's m mortified that it's but you can't, like, keep anything clean in Montana. I'm like, "Listen, we'll have to get it detailed in Texas because
Mhm.
Montana's just
Yeah.
it's just snowy and rainy, and it's hard to keep things, like, spotless there."
I tell Chance I get his car washed every time I go
Yes,
there.
yes, you do, you're so good. So, but it's interesting because a lot of, like, parents that I know and again, my kids go to private schools, they're getting, like, brand new cars, like, not, like,
Oh.
100 plus
Wait,
$1,000 cars.
like what?
Yes. Like, I know one kid is getting a, like, brand new, Hummer. Those are over $100,000.
Oh,
I know one kid's getting a Porsche.
wha
I know
wait,
one yes.
a Porsche like an SUV Porsche or like a 911?
I don't know, I just know it's a Porsche, which is probably expensive, but
What?
yes, I mean, but this is also, like in cruises great, like, the cars that they are saying they're getting coming up.
Why
It
would you ever buy your kid a
I
Porsche?
have no idea, but I mean,
The Hummer, it's safe. It's
yes,
still too big of a car for a
it's
kid.
it's huge, but, like, I think but it's so interesting that you have it's funny 'cause, even, like, where I feel like my kids will get nice cars, but they'll be, used. It's crazy, like, how much people like you said, your friend, I mean, I
Mhm.
just would never put my kid in a brand new car because I know they're gonna wreck it, um, and also they don't need it. I mean, Travis and I'll probably get them a car for graduation, even though Travis says, "No, they're gonna keep this one," but I'm like, "Well, at that point, it'll have a lot of miles, like, we're gonna have to send them off with something that's low miles," right?
I don't know, I would say after college graduation, that's
You
like
think after
your
college
yeah.
graduation? I don't know, I just yeah.
I mean, listen, there are people that drive a lot worse things than a four-year-old Defender.
Yeah, that's true,
So,
but yeah,
I
it's
think that's
crazy, it is so crazy, but yeah, we'll see, but it's crazy that,
that is
like, at my school, my dad and mom bought me actually, they did get me a brand new car. It was a Mitsubishi Eclipse, not expensive, but, they bought me one at 17. I drove my parents' car for, like, a year, and then they bought me an Eclipse, and maybe it had, like, 500 miles, but it was pretty new.
mhm.
And my dad, picked me up at Homeland with this car. It was cute, it was silver. I wrecked it so many times, it looked like a little trash can at the end of my college life, but it was cute.
I think it's important to have some skin in the game. especially when it comes to your car.
My cousin did it a really good way, and she had her daughter save, and then she was like, "I will meet you halfway. Whatever you
Mhm.
save, I will double," which I
Yeah.
think is a good way to do it. Um, yeah, so I did you have skin in the game with your car?
Yeah, my parents said they would match whatever I saved, and I worked at my dad's pizza restaurant, like, starting when I was, like, 13. Um, and right around my 16th birthday, my dad was buying my mom a new car, and she had like, a BMW 3 Series, and he was like, "Hey, the dealership is offering us this much for it. Um, I'll sell it to you for that much, and I'll still match your half." So I think I gave him, like, $7,000 for that car. And then actually I turned around and sold it.
You sold your car why? Just so you could make
'Cause
money?
yeah, I was like,
You've
"I'm getting
always
a
been
deal
that
here."
person. He has always been that person, yes.
And then I bought myself a Mustang with the
Oh,
money that I made off that, which is what I really wanted at the time. So, worked out, but I yeah, I paid for it.
oh my gosh, you had a Mustang?
Mhm.
My cousin, growing up, his dad and he lived in a super, super small town, Wagner, Oklahoma, if you're from there, and his dad gave him a used Corvette as his first car. Can you believe it? Like, my
Mm-mm.
uncle, I was like, "What in the world?" I mean, he was probably the like, hottest ticket in town, but my other cousin who works with my husband, said that, like, they would all take turns with John, my cousin, giving them a ride in his Corvette, and his parents were not rich whatsoever. It was a used Corvette, but still, like, it's a freaking Corvette. It's crazy. But yeah, so Chance will turn 16 in, like, 3 months. So every time I drop him off at school now, I'm, like, thinking it's kind of sad, because I'm not gonna take him that much l many more times.
Oh, I feel like that last time you're gonna leave skid marks on that driveway getting
You
out of there
think?
so fat.
Oh my
Yeah, you'll be like,
gosh.
"Oh, thank goodness, that clears up my day."
No, it just yeah, it's kinda sad, I think. I don't know. I've not been complaining as much about since Travis told me that because I was like, "You're right, I maybe have so many more times to actually take him,
Well, yeah.
and then it's over." And then I'll be following him to school because 'cause I'll be so stressed out he's gonna get into a wreck on the tollway.
That would stress me out. I do
Yeah.
think having kids in Dallas specifically is so much more expensive,
It is.
as opposed to just, like, even
So what are your
20
biggest
minutes.
concerns about being a parent in like, money or, like,
No.
driving or schools? Or because 'cause you're also wanting to
Well,
actively look at a house. So whenever you're looking for a home, are you taking school districts into, like, is that a big factor for you? Or are you
no, because I
thinking
really can't. I mean, well, we'll buy a new house before the kids start school. I think my biggest thing is, and Zach and I have talked about this, we need to stay in Dallas proper. I think my biggest concern is our kids being made fun of because we're gay.
you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, my aunt, so I guess my cousin, she goes to a school around here in the suburbs, close to where I grew up, and she came home one day and was like, "Mom, what does it mean to be gay?" And she was explaining, she was like, "Well, these kids in my class were telling me that, like, that's bad and, like, you'll go to hell and da da da," da," and she was like, "No," and was kind of, like, explaining it, but I was like, "That's something that that's gonna happen anywhere, of course," but that's, like, my big thing. It's like, I don't want my kids to be bullied because I'm gay,
But
'cause
which is
I'll
so
punch a kid
funny
in the
because
throat.
I feel like both of my kids' friends love Trey. Like, you are so popular with all their friends.
I
So
am.
he really is. So that's so funny that you would think that because I think that you naturally
But also kids are just
would.
assholes. Like, they are.
But I don't know because Chance is at, school, and he has a girl in his class, very, very popular girl, and she has 2 moms,
Mhm,
and she's very, very popular, and all the kids love her
mhm.
moms, like
I grew up, my youngest brother's best friend growing up, they ended up moving next door to us, and he had 2 moms, and we just didn't really think anything of it
uh-huh.
because they had always lived next door to us, but, like, he was made fun of
Was he?
at some point, yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. That makes
So
me so
that's more
sad.
of the stuff that I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
and I think that'd be less an issue. There was a piece of land, in a suburb right outside of Dallas that I really, really liked, and it was just a great piece of land, and it was maybe, I don't know, like, walking distance to a really great school, a really great Christian school, and I was like, "Ooh." I was like, "Zach, we should buy this and just hold on to it and build on this one day for when our kids start school." And I was like, "You know what? Actually, let me just call that school real quick. Let me find out something." And I called and I said, "Hey, would my kids be accepted here?" And they said, "No."
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Uh-huh.
that's interesting. I don't know, that's crazy. Well, that's not the school for you.
No, so
That's
I'm just already thinking of all the ways that I've already messed up my kids, and they're not even conceived yet, but
no. Oh my gosh, Trey, you're so fine. You are so fine. I think we live in a very different world where, like I said, I don't necessarily especially for you, like you and Zach are super normal-ish. They're not normal to the fact that,
oh, this is so funny.
I will
I know where you're
say
going.
they're not normal to the fact that, on April Fool's Day, which is my mom's birthday, so I'm very aware of April Fool's Day, because I have to call my mom and so Trey called me and he was like, "Hey, did you get my text message?" And he said, "Did you get what I sent you last night or this morning?" And he sends me stuff all the time, and I'm gonna be honest, when I send him things, I expect him to open it and reply back and to let me know
Immediately.
that he sees it. But when he sends me things, sometimes I don't open them or unless especially if they're TikTok, because it doesn't pop up on my thing. Like
Mhm.
I will have to find the person and locate the video because it doesn't just, if I click on it, it doesn't send me anywhere. So I was like, no, I'm driving. I've been awake since 6 a.m. for carpool. And then he was like, okay, well, um, I think I was at a stoplight or somewhere. He was like, okay, well, look at it. I pull it up and it was his dog's or his, I guess it's your
An
dog. It's
invitation, yeah.
to him and Zach's dog's baptism.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, these fools just had a birthday party that was like ridiculously overdone for their dog at my house when Travis and I were out of town. So I do not put anything past them because that's a little crazy too, right? Like usually you buy a cake, sing happy birthday. That's weird enough. Like, do you really need to have like a whole themed birthday and invite 500 people for your dog who has no idea it's their birthday and has no idea what you're saying?
Oh, Zach thinks he knows.
No, he does not. So I look and it's this picture of their dog's face looking very excited about his baptism and how it's going to be P-A-W, positively holy
Oh.
event. And it's at the church that Trey goes to. They give you a time and a date. And I say, Trey, the Lord has better things to do.
First she said, "What the fuck?"
And I thought, all I could think of is what do I have going on that I can get out of this? This is such a ridiculous thing.
And it was Easter Sunday.
Yes, what such a waste of time for Travis is not gonna wanna go to this, and, so I said, "Trey, the preacher has better things to do than baptize your dog. There are people whose souls are on the line, and your dog's just fine. Like, he has much better things to do. Y'all need to get a life." And then I think you had to tell me it was April Fool's Day because I just
Yeah, she
told
was like,
you.
"Why would I think this is a joke?"
I was like, this is, like, so normal.
And the funny part for me was that, like, people RSVP'd. I was
Yeah,
like,
I know,
"Zach,
but
people think you would do this."
no, 100%. Like, this is something you guys would do. Like, this is like a Tuesday being your friend
Well, so then she sent it to Travis's assistant.
and Travis, and I was hoping Travis would say something, but his assistant was like, "Oh my, okay."
And
So
she put it on his calendar.
yeah, and then I call Travis's assistant, who is my cousin, and, put Trey on. That's very I was thinking after I did that, that is very brave of me because people could be talking shit about you, and
Right?
you're, like, just sitting on the other line listening. Oh my god. That happened once before. Remind me to tell you this story, not to me, but to this guy I was dating. It was horrible. So and I was there. So we called Tammy and I'm like, "Hey, did you get that invitation?" And what did she say?
She's like, "Yeah, I put it on his calendar." She was like, "This is weird."
She's like, "This is something." She said, "But
She's like, "They had a birthday party for that dog, better than anything I've ever had."
she's like, "But that birthday party was kind of weird too." So it's like, "Oh my god." So then finally I was like, "Okay, he's on the line."
April Fools.
April Fools.
Yeah, we got a lot of the message I sent out, it was like, "This has been heavy on our hearts." I saw that on
I will
TikTok
read
at
it.
80
It was
hours.
so special. Did you see somebody do that on TikTok?
Yes, and I was like, "This is genius."
Yes. I mean, but you have to think about it's real special. I mean, it's like, here is a thing. I don't know if you can zoom in, but it's of their dog. And It is his Charles Luker Stewart.
RuPaul Charles Luker Stewart.
RuPaul Charles Luker Stewart. Why he has so many names blows my mind. I didn't even realize it was Easter. I was just like, and it says, "Please join us for the baptism of our son," on the thing, and it says, "We are so excited to invite you to a special celebration, the baptism of our precious son, RuPaul Charles Lucas Stewart," which is so special. And then it was April. Join us on Sunday, April 20th at 11 a.m. at the church they go to, the address, to witness this positively holy moment. And then an RSVP. And, yes, and
My mom called me and she was like, I'll be there. Um, but what?
yeah, it was so special.
Yep.
It was so special.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. So, okay, so that story about my boyfriend. Okay, this was like in college, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was dating this guy, not for a long time. And we were at our, because it was me and my roommate at the time, who I'm still good friends with, and we had, like, a little two-bedroom apartment, and, there was a girl that lived downstairs that was really good friends with us, but she's also the one that threw my roommate under the bus with her ID, if you remember.
Oh,
You
yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
at the, Eskimo Joe's.
Mhm.
Not a good friend if you look back and think about it. So anyway, I was so this other girl, our neighbor, was coming up, to see I think they were gonna go out. I was not, because I had a boyfriend. And so we were in my roommate's room, and she was like, "Oh, get under the bed." She heard our downstairs roommate come over. So we're under the bed, me and my boyfriend at the time, and my roommate starts talking to this girl about, um like, trying to pull a prank on her, I don't know why, about how it has a crush on this guy that I was dating, right? And him and I are under the bed, right? And this girl starts talking so much shit about the boy I'm dating. He's right there next to me. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, "Oh my god, this boy's gonna have such low self-esteem after this." So I jump out and I'm like, "We're here." That was, like, the worst thing. So I
What'd
do
she do?
know she was like, I mean, I like you, you're fine." He was kind of an asshole, he deserved it looking back, but at the time, I felt bad for him, I was like, "Oh my god." So yeah, so I have had
Oh, I love.
bad moments where people are on the other
Mhm.
line, so yes. But I feel like with you, you've heard it all.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you really have. Like, what could somebody say to you that you haven't.
you couldn't touch my self-esteem with a
Yeah,
10-ball.
no, you can't, like,
Mhm.
yeah, I was like, "What's the worst she could say? This is ridiculous. What is he doing? He's crazy." Yes, Trey knows all of that about himself.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was like, "What's the worst that can happen?"
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Hollman on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. I don't have access to it, and TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast, and you can watch us on YouTube at We Could Dose of BS. Bye.
Yay Media Group.